Right, and welcome to our first video for the Cover for Caravans YouTube channel.
Do you think we should tell them who we are?
Yes, you probably haven't heard of us, but we're the guys from the Legsdown blog and vlog, and the Cover for Caravans boss Richard has asked us to make a video on an introduction to caravanning.
I think he thinks that we know a little bit about it.
Yeah, we've been caravanning actually for nearly 6 years now. We get away as often as we can in the van, and I think in that time we've learned an awful lot.
We've learned an awful lot because we are away 18 weeks a year, nearly 18 weeks a year.
Yeah, almost.
Often on sites. It's like driving actually. The more you do it, the better you become. So I'd like to think that we've crammed in perhaps 30 years caravanning in 5 years.
Not to say we've not made a few mistakes along the way though.
God, we've made hundreds. Yeah. Which hopefully we'll be able to point you in the right direction in some of these videos in the future anyway.
Right, so as I said, the reason was for this was to an introduction to caravanning. You've decided you want to start caravanning. How do you go about it? Well, I suppose the best thing really is to tell you how we started, because I say we're still doing it nearly 6 years later and we love it, don't we?
Yeah, we were fairly lucky really, weren't we? Because we had some very good friends that caravanned, and we got talking to them one day, said we really fancy caravanning. Why we wanted to start caravanning is another story, but once we decided that we wanted to caravan, we was talking to these, and they said, look, we know about 4 dealerships in the local area. How about we take you round, we'll have a look at a few caravans, have a bit of lunch, and that's really what we did. Really?
Yeah, it was the best part of a day, wasn't it? Was it October time? I remember
it was
pretty
October,
cold.
Yeah.
We just went, as I say, went to about 4 dealers, just walked in and out of vans, looked at various layouts, what was available, had a rough idea of what we fancied, and Graham sort of advised us the pros and cons of certain layout, what works, what doesn't. We
were fortunate actually. The dealerships we went to all had their caravans unlocked.
Yeah.
They allowed us just to wander in and out.
Yeah, they didn't hassle us, did they, at all?
There was none of this, half a daily, hard, second-hand car salesman business. They just let us basically look round and chat about it amongst themselves. What
you might find is with some dealerships, and I think this might have been the case where we bought our first van, is they do keep the vans locked, but all vans are numbered. So if you want to look in any, you just go in and ask for numbers, and they'll give you the keys, and you just go and have a look around, don't you?
Yeah, one of the first things that you got to do, obviously, is decide your needs. With us, it's very straightforward. There's just the 2 of us, so we can basically use anything from a 2-berth right up to a larger 6-8 berth caravan if you want to. Obviously, if you've got a family, 2 children, so that's 4 of us, so you're going to want minimum of a 4-berth caravan. So your needs are, first of all, what you're going to look for, really.
You've got to define your needs, haven't you? Find out exactly what's going to work for you. And of course, the other thing to consider, particularly if you're younger coming into this, is your license. Now it's a little bit complex, but very basically, if you've passed your test after the 1st of January 1997, what you can tow and the weight combination of your car and caravan is a lot less. I think it's 3.25 tons.
Again, I would think you can get great help from the dealers on this when you're looking round.
Yep.
If you are of age, or lucky enough to be of age, where you haven't got a D1 in one way, but that means you're young, then they will sort of guide you onto weight ratios, cars and everything else. I'd like to think they would anyway, and I think they will.
I think most of them will be pretty helpful, because obviously they want to make a sale, don't they?
And there is some very helpful videos on YouTube. I think if you search YouTube, I know Andy from Make Way with the Morleys, he made a very good one on this very subject,
and Caravan Gossip too. What we'll do is we'll put the links below, so you can have a look at those as well.
It's quite complex, but I won't worry too much about that, because there's plenty out there that you can still tow.
And there's a lot of manufacturers making lighter weight caravans now, because there's more people coming into the market that don't have this entitlement to tow larger, heavier rigs.
Yeah, it's becoming a that's another subject that's becoming a problem. Cars are becoming lighter, but so caravans are having to become lighter, to be pulled by them.
And that sort of brings us on to the next thing, really, your car. You need to find out what it's legally capable of towing. So check your car's documentation.
Yeah, but, because if your funds are limited, the last thing you want to be doing is investing in a caravan and having to go straight out and invest in a car. All the time I'm assuming that most of you will have a car that is possibly capable of towing. I think common sense tells you that a little Mini Cooper's not going to tow a caravan. Ford Mondeos, Cavaliers, this sort of stuff. I'm showing my age there. Cavaliers.
Cavaliers as well.
Showing my age there. Sorry,
Insignias now.
Insignias, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Are all capable of pulling a good sized caravan if you are a family that needs a 4 to 6 berth caravan.
And increasingly now on site you'll see a lot of sort of smaller 4x4s like CRV like we've got. A lot of the Kias, Hyundais, they're making really popular tow cars.
This new Ford, what's it, Cougar? Becoming
the Edge.
No, we want the Edge.
Yeah.
But the Cougar's
become
a very popular car.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we're digressing a little bit here. Go round to the dealerships.
Yeah.
Have a look at what's on offer. There's a huge range out there. There's from manufacturers. All manufacturers do a huge range of different types of caravan. We started off in a 2 berth. I suppose that was a little mistake.
We did make a bit of a mistake here. When we first looked around that first time back in October, we settled on what we thought would suit us, which is a side dinette. We intended to caravan a lot in the winter, so we wanted the extra space inside without having to worry about putting up an awning.
We decided that before we left the last dealers. We're definitely going to have a side dinette. What happened?
Well, suddenly we realised we've got to tow this thing that's going to be 23, 24 foot long. So we changed our mind and we went for a small 2 berth with the side kitchen and then the bathroom.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it was a great caravan.
Loved it to bits.
Yeah, it was a great way to start. And the one thing I would recommend, if you can get away with, only a 2 berth, obviously, again, if you're a family, you're not going to get away with that. 2 berth and bathrooms are very, very sellable. So if you buy the caravan, you end up don't liking it.
Yeah, or you want to trade up.
You've got a very sellable caravan.
Dealers will take little 2 berths off your hands all day long.
All day long, yeah. So, there is a range out there. What we're trying to say there is, we made that mistake.
We made it really because we was cautious about towing something too big, weren't we?
Yeah, neither of us had ever towed a caravan. I towed years ago a little trailer tent, hadn't I? But neither of us had really towed. You're bound to be a little nervous. But because of that, we went for the 2 berth. Shortly after we bought it, because Richard does his blogging and and his writing, the reason we went for a side dinette was so he would have a little office, and we soon realised that we should have, when we did upgrade and go to a side dinette, did we notice any difference in the time?
No, I mean the van is about 3 foot longer.
Yeah. Didn't even notice it.
No, it was just as easy to tow really. But if you are wary about towing, and a lot of people are. Both the major clubs run towing courses, and there's a lot of independent operators out there who run towing courses as well. So that's something worth considering if you're at all nervous about it.
While we're talking about that, we can go back a bit to the D1. You can always upgrade your licence to a D1.
You take another test,
by taking another test. Obviously you've got to go through the process of, you will possibly need a couple of lessons off someone because you have to learn to drive with the extra width wing mirrors, I believe, these days. And there's little differences that you will need to do for your test. Is there a different knowledge for it? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. Again, if we can find some good links to information, we'll put that below the video as well.
But anyway, we settled on our caravan, didn't we? Which was great. The other advice I will give is buy yourself, a reasonably priced or whatever you can afford, but there's a lot out there at very reasonable prices, and the one thing you've got to do is make sure you enjoy caravanning. Just because we fell in love with it doesn't mean to say everyone's going to do that. You know, you may fancy it. You know, you may go out and, you know, you may hate
it's
it.
just not for you. Who knows?
Who knows? So be careful. Well, my advice is be careful of how much you lay out.
Yeah.
Until you know, fully decide, you know, that you're going to enjoy it.
Which is, that sort of brings us really on to cost, doesn't it? And how much you want to spend. Very difficult to say. We didn't buy new first or second time.
How much was our first caravan?
6,000 quid.
6,000
and
quid.
it was 8 years old at the time.
And it was incredibly good condition.
They do seem to hold their value.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you're going down the second-hand route like we did, you then really have a couple of choices as to where you buy them from, dealer or private. We bought dealer both times, and based on our experiences, I think I'd always recommend a dealer because you get some warranty.
You're going to get a bit of warranty.
Yeah.
You know it's going to be serviced before you leave it.
Yeah.
And most importantly, if you're a newbie, you're going to get help.
Yeah.
In how to set the caravan up. Hopefully in a later video we will do that, or we will show you how we set up and everything else, but again we're digressing a bit.
When we bought our first caravan, they spent a good hour with us going through everything in the van, how everything works, you know, where the heating was, how to sort your water out, and they were very helpful. But of course, if you buy from a dealer, you're paying for the dealer's overheads. Obviously, they've got to make a profit.
Yeah.
It's worth considering the private route. It's generally you're gonna get more for your money.
Two advices there though. If you're going to go the private route, when you're looking around the caravan or going to see it, if you've got someone who knows anything about caravans, take them with you. It's always handy. Take a damp meter with you. Check the damp.
I would say if you are considering buying private, engage the services of a mobile technician. It could well be worth the money.
He'll only charge you for half a day's labour.
He'll come and look over the van for you, give you the all-important damp test, because it's one thing that sounds a sort of death knell for older caravans is damp.
It does.
But as I say, you get more for your money. You might find someone's given up caravanning. You might find they're throwing certain things that you're going to need to buy, such as battery, a gas cylinder, steps, water containers, awning. There's pros and cons to sort of private and
we've got friends. We've got friends that have bought privately. I know most of them were experienced. Well, one of them weren't. You know, he went out and bought a very good caravan privately.
Yep.
He got a good deal on it because it had been owned by a smoker. A lot of people reject, you know, caravans because of that, and they won't buy them, so it devalues them very quickly. Well, a caravan really is very easy to clean. A bit of sugar soap and everything. He bought his up, so it was like new. And he says he's got rid of all the tobacco smells and everything. He paid, you know, up to £3,000–4,000 less because that caravan had been used by a heavy smoker. He has now got himself a pristine caravan.
It was
you know,
a really good caravan for the money.
And do you know what I mean? He got away with it. So, you know, private is a route to go, but it's, you know, you've got to be more wary when you're going the private way anyway.
Absolutely.
Do you think?
So that really sort of brings us on, I think, for the last thing for this video is you're going to get this van. Where are you going to keep it? Obviously, you might want to have a driveway. Worth checking any covenants on your property as to whether you can legally do that. If you can't, there are hundreds of storage sites around the country.
Do some research, find out where your local storage yard is. They're expensive in certain parts of the country. Obviously down south where we live is because we've got the South Downs, so we're very limited on what we can call usable space. Up north I think they get a bit cheaper. It really depends where you are to how much you're going to pay for caravan storage. We've got friends up in Yorkshire who are only paying what, 250 a year. What do we pay? 550?
No, we pay just under 500, but I know there are sites around ours that it's nearly £700 a year. So again, you know, factor that in when you're doing your sums to see what you're going to afford.
But anyway, you know, we've been waffling on now for some time. don't be frightened to ask social media, friends, you know, for help. Go out there, have a look round, see what's on offer. We say caravanning is absolutely brilliant. We love it.
We love it. It's December now. There's snow on the ground,
and we still
enjoy snug as bugs in here. It's absolutely superb.
You know, obviously we haven't got children or anything else, but my experience of when we're on site of watching families and children running around the caravan site on their scooters, you know, they haven't got mobile phones attached to their ears or their iPads or anything. They're out enjoying the fresh open air. I tell you, I wished I'd have done it when I was a kid. You know, it's a great way. So, you know, get out there and do it. But before we go, the other thing that people need to check on, obviously we're doing this video for Cover for Caravans. When they've got the insurance, get some quotes from Cover for Caravans.
Absolutely,
on how much that bit's going to cost you, because it's another investment, isn't it? You know.
Yep, it's an investment and it's one you want to protect too. So there's no legal requirement to insure your caravan, but believe me, it makes sense.
No, because it isn't your caravan when it's on the back of your car insured by the car company.
Yeah, it has to be, doesn't it?
I think, but, you know, speak to Richard Burgess, he'll confirm that.
But obviously you want to insure against theft and damage and so on.
So, anyway, I think that's enough for now.
Yeah, I hope you found some of this useful.
Hopefully, if you like it and find it of use, we will make some more.
Yep.
I'd like to take you on how we set up on a site in the next video. Would you think that?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
So perhaps, you know, next time we'll do that. Take you on a site, show you how you set up a caravan, the ins and outs of actually getting onto a site, which is possibly the most scary bit, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, possibly.
Once you bought the caravan.
Yep.
And invested that hard-earned money.
You've got to get out and about in it. That's what it's there for.
Yeah. So, anyway, for now, I'd like to say thank you for watching.
Yep, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Cheers.
Bye.